Hey, Craig, let's get into some coffee talk.
Hey, I love it. I love doing some coffee talk.
Well, talk about what?
Dogs, daughters, whatever. It's coffee talk.
Coffee talk. It's a coffee. I just spilt my pizza.
Good evening, Mr. Craig.
What is that, Steve Martin? Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Remember that?
Oh, so good.
So good. He has the eye patch on.
Ruprecht.
Ruprecht. And he has the cork and the fork and he's poking his eye. So good. May I go to the bathroom?
Okay, if you're listening, watch it tonight. Rewatch it. It's so good.
Right. And if you're under, I don't know, probably under 30? Probably haven't ever heard of it.
You sound like Ruprecht because of the stuffed up nose.
All right. A really good movie.
So we kind of went over this at the Agencies Ignite event.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to go over it real quick. There are only, let's say only, four ways to increase business revenue. You ready, Mr. Craig?
Oh, I love this because you're bringing it down to the fundies. And does anybody know what the fundies is?
Mentalies.
The fundamentals.
Mentalies.
It rhymes with undies, but it's more fundy.
Okay. First one, lead gen. So if you're working on lead gen, any kind of leads that you're generating for your agency or any business, you can work on ways to lower the cost of lead gen or getting more leads, obviously free and stuff like that. So lead gen is one way to increase revenue.
Let's spend a minute talking about that.
Okay, go.
Is that okay? Let's talk about what to look for with a lead to identify whether or not that lead is of value or that lead source is of value, right? And I think ultimately, taking it back to a framework to determine whether or not it's worth it, you want to monetize the cost. So if it could be a lead source like building a referral network or using Facebook or Instagram or whatever, right? Or buying leads, just buying internet leads or all the different places that you could acquire leads from. You may want to also look at, okay, well, if I do the chamber or I do this or that, it doesn't cost me anything. Well, it costs you time. So you want to look at what is the value of that time? And then ultimately, how much revenue are you then bringing in or what's to determine the cost per sale, right? So if you spend 10 hours a week to get some lead source, but you only get one lead a month from it, well, 10 hours, what's your time worth? If your time is worth $500 an hour, that's $5,000 for one sale. That's not a good acquisition cost. So we want to really look at the ultimate metric, which is acquisition cost, in order to determine whether or not a source is viable. I'll go back to that rubric.
And I would say the top two things I look for in lead gen is consistency.
Yep.
So if the lead gen is going to be consistent and if it's scalable. If it's not scalable. Consistency and scalability.
Right. So like everybody knows what live leads are. They'll go buy them and they're whatever, $60 to $100 for a live lead, not scalable. Right. If you have 10 producers and 10 telemarketers and you're buying live transfers, it's not scalable because you're going to get 10 a day. 10. I don't know how many you could get because I make my own.
Second thing, number 2 on the 4 ways to increase your business.
Did you say number 2, Mr. Jason?
Number 2. Lead conversion.
Oh.
So what are the things that can help that lead convert? Because anytime you can cut down the lead conversion time or raise the percentage of conversion, you're going to save money, right? Which means you can ultimately double, triple, whatever the lead.
Right.
The lead spend. So lead conversion, what are some ways that
I know in our world and the methodology that we've used to grow our books, not our books, it has been throwing. So we've optimized the telefunnel, right? So we buy an internet lead, push it through, and we've optimized at every step, which is not easier said than done. I mean, it takes a while to get good at that, to understand the metrics. It took me, 6 months, took you 2 years. But you were first. That's why it took you longer. I'm definitely not smarter. So, yeah, so that's one way. With, let's say, if you're buying Facebook or doing Facebook leads or whatever, how could you optimize it? You could look at the traffic that's coming in and determine how those ads are performing. But you definitely want to have different things measuring against different things. So if you don't have access to what the benchmark is for conversions, then you need to. So you always want to go in with some way to measure these things. Like I know a lot of people do mailers. What I've always struggled with mailers is it takes a while before they start performing, and it's very difficult to measure. I mean, it's great when they come in, like your producers will love you, but you overspend for your acquisition cost, in my humble opinion.
So lead conversion to me, I would say things from a 40,000 foot view that would just help that lead conversion is like a great CRM, a great follow-up sequence of emails.
Yeah.
If you can use texts and you're not with a captive carrier, obviously, then the follow-up text sequence, the follow-up, the phone call sequence.
The more you can automate, right?
Yep. And then the other thing is your team, like the scripts, the training, the meetings, all that stuff, really trying to optimize to make sure that there is going to be the best chance for conversion. You will get the highest conversions of those leads. Yeah. Right.
Right. And it gives you scalability because you have predictability behind what's going to happen. And also it's much easier to train, right? As you bring on new people, if you have some kind of format framework.
Yep. Number three in the 4 ways to increase your business is customer ascension.
Ooh.
What does that mean?
Oh, well, yeah. What does it mean?
Yeah. What does it mean?
What does it mean?
You go, Mr. Craig.
No, you were going to go and then
Okay. Well, I was just going to say with the way we do it, we buy leads. They come through our pipeline. We've done everything we can with the conversion. Now they're coming into the agency, right? That lead is. I know something that we both do that we like to do is hit them with those welcome calls, right? Making sure that that they had a great experience, but making sure that they had a chance to talk to the financial person in our agency, making sure that they have more than one line and trying to cross-sell and everything, right?
Totally. What I think of when I think of customer ascension, I think of Mr. David Carruthers in Florida. So he has his agency is I think almost 100% commercial, if not exactly 100%. I think it's close. But what he does is to get people in the door. He does that wedding. Is it like wedding event insurance? And he said all his friends made fun of him and all this, but this is how he generates his leads, right? Somebody does that, and then that's the easy foot in the door. And then he ascends them through his value ladder. So as they come in and become acquainted in the same way that Jason just talked about it, like putting him through his funnel, they then talk about their commercial, their home and auto. So maybe it's not 100% commercial, but he ascends them up that ladder to the higher ticket items that then generate more and more revenue for him as they become more sticky, right? As they develop and ascend, they purchase more things, and more things mean there's a longer retention.
Yeah. So I think that's something to really think about. What is that whole customer journey and making sure our client journey, but making sure there's a great ascension plan, because then all of a sudden your average sale or your average, your lifetime value of your client, you can really double or triple that, right?
Sure.
Which if you can double or triple the lifetime value, well, now we're smoking, because we can obviously spend more on leads and everything else. So
you're crushing on both sides. You're increasing the revenue per client, and you're increasing the length that they stay with you.
That's right.
Yep. Got to increase the length.
Increase that length. And then number 4, of course, is retention.
Yep.
Because if you can retain them even for 1 extra month or 6 extra months or 1 extra year, wow, what a difference.
If you don't think that retention is important, and I highly doubt if you're listening to this that you agree with that statement, that you don't think that it's important. But let's assume that you do think it's important, or you don't. Look at Echo. I don't know if we can say their name, the Lizard Insurance. So look at them. They have a dedicated department, an entire department. If somebody wants to cancel it, they get transferred to the department, and there's a force of people who take those calls, and they're trained in retention. So it is a huge component of a business who is systematically taking apart a lot of carriers. So there must be something to it.
So that's it. Recapping the 4 ways to increase revenue in your business. Lead gen, always be working on lead gen, creating that consistent and scalable flow. Lead conversion, be training your team. And tweaking all the different parts that aid to that conversion. Number 3 is the ascension, making sure that once those clients are rolling in, that you're taking every bit advantage of the situation and being able to, when you go to the store, usually you buy more than one item, right? Why is it that we assume that somebody just wants to get one thing from us? I mean, the bottom line is we can help them in so many different ways. And if we save them even just a little bit of time, we're helping them greatly. So not working on the ascension part is a disservice to your clients. And then, of course, the retention part. And that's just being helpful, helping them, being there for them. That's it.
That's it. And except, of course, that
you tell me,
we really would prefer if everybody that's listening subscribed to the podcast.
Subscribe.
That's it.
Now that's it.
But no, push the subscribe button.
Oh, push the button. And then now that's it.
But don't accidentally push it twice, because it'll subscribe, then it'll unsubscribe.
Craig, we got to go. Okay. That's it.
Yep. Just smash it.
Coffee dog.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
That was another awesome episode, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if people want to get a little bit more action and learn how to write 100,000 in premium off of even the worst internet leads, where could they go?
They can go to live.teledudes.com.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Are we going to be there?
Yes. It's a weekly call that we're doing right now it's live, and it will show you the process. The entire process is super awesome.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sign up right now. Live.teledudes.com.
Live.teledudes.com. That's live.teledudes.com.
Hey, Craig, there's a new community that we are starting that I cannot wait to tell everybody about. It is our live texting community where you and I are going to answer people's questions and give them free content, right?
Are you kidding me? We get to talk to them?
Yeah, which is awesome, but they have to opt in. They have to text us at 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
Nice.
Craig, are you going to respond to these texts?
I'm going to respond to them for sure. Live.
I'm into it too. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be our new texting community where we're going to get back to everybody that we can and drop some crazy content, free content, and free the calculator that you just came up with. That's right. The calling calculator, sales material. I mean, everything for insurance agents. This is it. It's the best texting community out there for insurance agents.
Well, what the heck is that number again? I can't remember it.
It's 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
I love it. I'm going to text it right now.
520-214-2219.
All right. I'll see you later, Mr. Jason.
Bye, Mr. Craig.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
All right.